Well, g'day. I know it's been a long time since my last video, so I would like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. I guarantee that this is not going to be the last you see of me. I've just done a bunch of videoing, 3 days worth of videoing. A whole lot of projects were covered in those 3 days. Thanks to Dave Willing for all of the help. Couldn't have done it as well without you. And so yes, lots of videos. They've all been filmed and I just need to edit them, and that's the biggest problem, I suppose. I just hate the editing process. Anyway, part of the editing, I reckon, is making sure that the videos are kept concise and that they're interesting, they're visually interesting, and they have got good content. So I just have to suffer through that and I'll get them done. Anyway, look, there's lots of videos there and they will be uploaded once a week. So you can be guaranteed that for over the next, I reckon, 20 weeks, there will be a new video from me. While I'm at it, look, thank you very much to all of those who've supported me over the, well, let's say 2016. Those of you who have bought things from my online shop, thank you very much. My U-turn jackets are doing very well, and other stuff on there has been bought by you, so thank you. That all helps, that sort of support helps. Thank you also to John Fee for your support. I'm sure, John, you understand why I'm thanking you in particular. So yes, your support is very much appreciated. Now, if you want to keep up to date with what's going on at U-turn, like my Facebook page, and there's bits and pieces that, of information that I put there to help you keep up to date. You know, new products that I've added or workshops that I'm running, that sort of thing. So U-turn with Brendan Stemp is my Facebook page. I've also got a private Facebook page which is just Brendan Stemp. So we can be friends on that too if you like. I think that's about it. Look, certainly hope you do enjoy this video, and in the meantime...
G'day, I was at the Ballarat show, the Ballarat Wood Show last year, 2016. I can't remember the date, but a good wood show to go to. There was a stand there, a guy who was selling this timber. It's orange box. He was calling it orange box. The botanic name is Denhamia Pittosporidis. I think that's how you pronounce it. When I bought it, so this is going back probably 8 months now. When I bought it, it was green. It still hasn't cracked except for this slight bit of check there, and that doesn't go all of that deep into it. Interesting, it is quite orange in colour, so I'll be interested to see what it turns like. And I'm going to turn a little natural edge bowl out of this. Now, if you are interested in getting some of this timber after I have done this video, then look up this guy, John Tudehope. He's in Malini, southeast Queensland. I'll put the details where such details go underneath this video. But yes, if this works out well, look John up and you can get this stuff off him. Otherwise, I don't know where you get it from. Anyway, the bandsaw is where I'm heading now, so I'll go and cut this to length and we'll get going. I've just cut the orange box to length, so what I did was I measured my width here, or my diameter here, which was 110 mil, and then simply cut that to 110 mil. Measured across this this is actually a little bit flat here. You can see there's a little bit of a flat there. So I've measured across here, 55 mil line, guessed the width here, you can see my marks which indicate the centre, drilled an 8 mil hole in there for my screw chuck. Now with the lathe going slowly, I can wind that on. This is safe just so long as you let go at the right moment. So don't let it grab. Just before it grabs, let go, turn your lathe off, hand tighten. So I've locked the spindle of my lathe, and then that is now hand tightened and ready to go. Now, I have not had anything to do with this timber, so I really don't know how it's going to go. I'm not even sure if this bark is going to hold together. Ultimately, or ideally I should say, you would want the bark to stay on with a natural edge bowl, but if it doesn't, well, so be it. I'm just going to have to see how it goes. You can see that I've kept the heartwood in there, or the pith. There it is there. Once again, I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm guessing because it hasn't already cracked that it's a fairly stable timber, and once I do turn it into a bowl, it's not going to split anymore. But let's see how we go. Tool rest in the right spot, just turn by hand, and I'm just going to attack this corner here. Get a bit of speed so that we skip over the air quicker. Now when you're turning a bowl blank that's got a lot of air, I suppose we can call it, that is, we're hitting wood there, then air, then wood, then air, there's a couple of things that will help you cope with that. One of them is, as I just said, making sure your lathe or the wood is spinning as fast as it can. And the second thing is that we're going to push down on the tool rest, the tool down onto the tool rest, and not hard into the wood. So most of my force is with the tool being pressed down onto the tool rest, and that helps keep things nice and steady. And get rid of this bark here. So that's my bottom there. I'll just check out what that's like. A little bit of bark left over, so I need to go a bit deeper. Get my tool rest in. Now I'm going to come back the other way. I'm going to come back this way so that I don't chip that bark off. If I keep pushing this way, it can push the bark off. So I'll come back this way. Go a little bit faster. Tool resting closer. I think we're getting close there. Okay, so I've got it down to the size that I need. A lot of tearing out there. That might have been because I was working that way rather than this way, so we'll see how we go. It is always best to work with the grain. So working this way, I've got grain being supported by grain. Now I'm going to have a step in here to hold this on to the chuck when I spin the blank around, which is going to be 35mm, which is just about there, and then a foot after that. So I can take this off, skew chisel just as a scraper. So that there will be where I grip the bowl, and then I need a foot, and that'll be my foot just there. I might go a little bit deeper with that piece of wood there, slightly undercut it, conform to the shape of the jaws of the chuck, and then so I've got the basics of my bowl organised. I can now take some of this wood away. So that's my foot just there. That's my foot. I might do a foot more like that. So I'm just going to initially work down against the grain to get into that bowl, into the bottom of this foot. Foot's just going to be a little bit deeper, something like that. So there's what I'm going to hold the bowl with. There's my foot, a little bit of a decorative step, rest of the bowl. Now
So I'm going to try and get a nice curve going up there. I haven't got a lot of width to play with. So there we go. And I'm happy with that curve. And it's actually ducking back in. Once again, I'm going to have to come back the other way. Stop that bark from chipping away. Come back this way. So cutting quite nicely, no torn grain. So when we did actually work with the grain, there was little torn grain. Quite happy with that curve there. Interesting thing with natural edge bowls is that there's, in a sense, two curves. We've got this curve here where the bark finishes early, and we've got this curve around here where the lip is raised, and so the curve goes a little bit further up the bowl. So I've just got to imagine it from there on, and I'm quite happy with that shape. So now we can sand. So I'll get this sanded and I'll come back to it. But this is cut very, very nicely. There's no torn grain there, so very little sanding needs to be done. So that's delightful. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I start sanding, this is quite important. You'll see a bit later on why, but I'm going to bring my tailstock up and I'm going to make a little indentation in there with my live centre. I'll show you what that's all about later on. That's all I need to do, and do some sanding now. Alright, well, I can report that the orange box sands up absolutely beautifully. I started sanding at 180 grit, I'm up to 320 grit, and I'll finish off with some 500 grit. There's a little bit of torn grain here which I'm using, I'm sanding with my Proxon. Now, one of the things that you need to be careful about when doing natural edge bowls is this sanding area here, because there is a danger as you are sanding to hit this edge here, for instance, harder than you'll hit this edge around here. So this will get actually rounded over. So you'll hit this edge, air, hit this edge, air. So there's a couple of areas, one there and one over here, which is not getting rounded over, but this area is getting rounded over. So it doesn't even hurt to stop the lathe and sand by hand in those particular areas to overcome that problem. One of the ways I combat that issue that I was just talking to you about is hold the sandpaper like so and let the wood come onto the wood, let the wood come onto the sandpaper. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not pulling that hard into, I'm keeping this taut, I'm not pulling it hard into the wood. And we can just sand down in here. My next step is to flip it around, and I'm just hoping that I haven't gone too small with this spigot here. Okay, get a bit of speed happening. I've got the hole started, and I am going to drill a depth hole. Well, that's very interesting. That should never happen. I've never seen that happen before. That is just sheared off completely. That's extraordinary. I've never seen that happen before. I mean, that's a lot of wood there. But I've got a plan B, so fortunately
I hope you didn't hear me swear. I said something along the lines of, oh bother. I'm just going to use this as my carrier now. And hope that doesn't break. So perhaps I just need to back off. So that's really interesting, and I've put some dents in here. Yeah, I was really liking the timber up to this point, but it's obviously very weak along the grain. I don't know. I obviously have to go a lot gentler with my cuts here. I want to go quite thin with this rim, so I'm going to get, that'll be about as thin as I need to go. So get that done, get this section of the wall sorted out before we go too much deeper. And what's very important with natural edge bowls is that you look at the width of the rim all the way around and make sure that there is some sort of consistency, because if the rim or the wall thickness here is 5mm but a bit further down it's 8mm, you'll see this natural edge gradually get thicker as we work our way around. Let's have a look at this low point over here. That's looking okay, but very fragile, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to leave that and just hollow out the rest now. I'm going to get my calipers out and just check for some thicknesses here. So up here we've got 6mm, down here we've got 11mm, and from about there up it's good, from about there down we're getting thicker. So I'm going to now get a pencil and I'm going to mark on the inside of the bowl where I need to start cutting. So good there, getting thicker there. So just at this point here, I'm going to scribe that roughly around there like that, is where I need to start my next cut. So starting just before my pencil line, pick up that cut, and down to the bottom. Right, I'm pretty happy with that. Just a bit of a high point there that I'm just going to sand out on. I've just a little bit nervous about putting a little scraper onto that, so I'm just going to sand that, get some coarse sandpaper, and when we get back this will all be sanded. I'm just finishing with a bit of sanding without the wood spinning. And that'll do me. That was 300 grit. It's looking very nice in there. Now I've got to work out how I'm going to finish off the base, because, well, I've now got these dents in my foot. Now originally I had this piece of wood which was on here somehow. So I'm going to glue that back on, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to finish off this base. Now to do that, I've just got a scrap of pine, and I'm going to get that in my chuck here. And basically what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to mount my bowl like that. So I've got to turn this down so that it's kind of a negative, or it conforms to this shape here. So it's a negative of this shape. There we go. And now I need to get that piece of wood that came off, and I need to glue that back on. Right, this is how I have fixed the situation. Just get that out of the way. I have glued that piece that broke off, that snapped off nice and cleanly. I've glued that back in place, and now I've got that there like so. Some bit of padding in there so that this timber doesn't mark that, and slid that over there like so, and bring my tailstock up. And as I said before, that little divot there that was made initially from the live centre helps me to relocate this bowl in the right spot so it spins nice and truly, and there it is. And what I can do now is I can tidy up that was damaged with the jaw marks, and then I can even turn that off, and I'll show you how I do that. But I've also got these little dings, little marks when the wood came off the lathe, so I'm just going to deal with them quickly. Once again, this is the beauty of the pox on. I can just sand that. This is 180 grit, and I can just sand that area that had the ding. The other way you can sometimes manage to get dings out is you can just put some moisture onto them. So this, where did it go? This one here, you get some water on there, and that will help to swell the grain and bring that out. Oh, there it is, it's gone already. So that was 180 grit, and then I've just got to sand through the grits to get the rest out. Got my small spindle gouge here. Get that tourist a bit closer. And I'm just going to cut through there like so. And that'll get those marks out, the jaw marks out. And now what I do is I'm going to take most of this off. Tourist just a bit too high. Most of this off. Like that. Undercut the foot, so the foot will have some concavity there. Concavity, is that a word? It'll have that hollowing, so the bowl will sit on the rim of the foot. I can even just, if I'm game enough, just undercut that a little bit more. Try and get right in there. I can sand now, and I can sand this section here. Later on, when all of the sanding is done, the bowl will be basically finished, except I just have to snap this off and sand that area that is left behind. This is 240. Sand in there.
Now at the moment this is in the way, that cone is just in the way to get my fingers in there comfortably to sand, so I'll just show you what I can do. If you had one of these Vermic live center kits, this comes out, if I just need an extra pair of hands here, this comes out, this tip slides in like so, and now I've just got that much more room in there. Now I'm not going to drive this in really hard because that could just split that little piece of timber apart, and I'll be in all sorts of bother then. So this system here, this live centre system, was made by Vermic, one of my favourite companies. Vermic make excellent wood turning accessories, good quality, really good quality. I just now need to deal with this. And you can actually see the fracture line just there. That's where I glued. Take that away. And now this is, oh there you go, I was going to say it's difficult to break off. It was probably more difficult than I thought. Now you can just hand sand that, or I've got my Prox on. And I'm going to do that. Here it is, the finished product of the Orange Box Natural Edge Bowl, and my conclusions are that I am very impressed with this timber. It's a lovely looking timber, it works well, it sands well, the bark has stayed on nicely, finishes easily, very happy with it. So I can highly recommend the Orange Box. I can't remember the botanical name, but anyway, the link for John is underneath this video. Certainly if you're interested, look him up and get some off him. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you keep turning safely, and I'll see you another time.